My name is Ethan Mitchell, and until a few months ago, I genuinely believed I was building the kind of relationship people dream about. The kind that grows quietly without fireworks or dramatic gestures. Just two people choosing each other every day. That's what I thought I had with Lila Carter. She was warm, quick-witted, and had this soft, expressive way of looking at people that made you feel truly seen. We had been together for almost 2 years, long enough to intertwine routines, inside jokes, morning coffees, and weekend rituals, but short enough that you still felt that gentle thrill when she slipped her hand into yours. I loved her in a steady, grounding way. Not the kind that sweeps you off your feet, but the kind that makes you want to build a life. But what I didn't realize then was that I was the only one choosing. Things started shifting so quietly that I almost convinced myself it was stress or work, or just the natural ebb and flow of relationships. Our conversations became shorter. Her laughter grew more reserved. She started staring at her phone longer than she stared at me. And every time I asked if something was wrong, she'd give the same gentle, dismissive smile and say, "I'm just tired, Ethan. You overthink too much." But tired people don't suddenly glow. And she glowed whenever she talked about Adrian. Adrian was her new coworker, a graphic designer with a sharp sense of humor, a creative mind, and that kind of energy that makes the whole room feel lighter. She talked about him with the same tone she used to talk about me in the early months, light, unguarded, unconsciously fond. I tried not to read into it. I really did. I tried telling myself I was being insecure, unreasonable, paranoid. But there's a particular pain in watching the person you love light up for someone else while growing dimmer with you. It's the kind of pain that sits in your throat, heavy and bitter. One Friday evening we were having dinner at my place in Portland. I had cooked her favorite creamy garlic pasta and poured the Pinot Grigio she liked. She smiled, said thank you, kissed my cheek. But her kiss felt obligatory, not affectionate. Halfway through dinner she mentioned Adrian again, how he helped her carry some boxes at the office, how he remembered her favorite coffee order, how he complimented her presentation in front of the whole team. I listened quietly, nodding, trying to steady the sinking feeling in my chest. Then she laughed softly and said the words that ended everything. "Sometimes I feel like I wish I'd met him first." She didn't even look at me when she said it. She was just cutting her pasta, talking casually, like she was commenting on a movie or a song, not confessing the most painful truth I'd ever heard. My heart didn't break loudly. It didn't crack like glass. It just tightened quietly, like something inside me finally understood its place. I set down my fork. "Is that how you really feel?" She froze, then gave a nervous little laugh. "Ethan, don't make it weird. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying he's a good guy. You know, if timing was different." "Maybe if timing was different," I repeated softly, "you wouldn't be with me." She looked up then. Really looked. And for the first time there wasn't warmth in her eyes, just guilt and a kind of confusion, like she didn't know how to handle the feelings she just unleashed. "I didn't say that," she whispered. "You didn't need to. There's a specific moment in every relationship where something irreversible is said. Something that shifts the ground beneath your feet, just enough to make you realize you no longer stand on the same foundation. That was mine." She opened her mouth. Maybe to apologize, maybe to soften the blow, maybe to say something comforting or dishonest. I'll never know. Because the words that left my mouth surprised even me. "Then go to him." Silence. The kind of silence that stretches like an open wound. Lila stared at me like I just shattered the world she was comfortably balancing between two men. She blinked, shook her head and whispered, "Ethan, don't be dramatic." "I'm not being dramatic," I said. "I'm being honest. If you wish you'd met him first, then you don't want me anymore. You want the idea of someone better." She swallowed hard. "He's just a friend." "No," I replied softly. "He's the man you compare me to." Her face changed, subtle, involuntary. A flinch. That was when I knew I was right. Lila pushed her plate away and leaned back, her arms wrapping around herself like she was suddenly cold. "Ethan, don't end things over one stupid comment. You're twisting this into something it's not." But I wasn't twisting anything. I was finally seeing clearly. I took a slow breath, choosing each word carefully. "I'm not angry, Lila. I'm not yelling. I'm not accusing you of cheating. I'm just telling you what I heard. You said you wished you'd met him first. And people don't wish that unless they're imagining what could have been. She looked away, staring at the corner of my kitchen like the answer might be written on the wall. I didn't mean it seriously, she murmured. But you meant it honestly, I replied. And she didn't deny it. Her silence was more honest than anything she could have said. I stood up, walked to the window and rested my hands on the counter. I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I wasn't trying to hurt her. I just couldn't pretend I didn't feel the shift she'd been trying to hide behind excuses for weeks. Her voice came out small. So what? You're just letting me go. I turned around slowly. I'm not letting you go. You already left. Emotionally, you've been gone for weeks. I was just too in love with the past to admit it. Her eyes glistened, and for a moment I saw the girl who used to curl into me, trace little patterns on my hand, and whisper that she felt safe. But feelings fade when attention drifts somewhere else. Love doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes quietly. Ethan, she whispered, I don't want to lose you. I walked back to the table and sat across from her. Do you really want me, Lila? Or do you just not want the guilt of being the bad guy? Her breath hitched. That question hit exactly where she didn't want it to. She covered her face with her hands. I don't know, she said, voice breaking. I don't know what's wrong with me. Adrian's funny and charismatic and confident, and I admire him. But I love you. I swear I do. I nodded. Maybe that's true. Maybe you do love me. But admiration is a dangerous thing. It's the seed that grows into longing. And longing kills love long before cheating ever happens. She didn't speak. She just sat there shaking slightly, like her own truth was finally catching up to her. I continued gently. It's okay to outgrow people, Lila. It's okay to meet someone who makes you question things. It's human. But it's not okay to make the person who loves you feel like a placeholder. She lifted her head slowly. Her mascara had smudged beneath her eyes. I never meant to hurt you. I know, I said softly. But you did. And that matters. The clock ticked behind us. A slow, rhythmic reminder that time kept moving even when relationships didn't. After a long moment, she shook her head and whispered, So what now? I leaned back in my chair and exhaled. Now we stop pretending. You don't deserve to feel trapped in a relationship you're only half in. And I don't deserve to compete with someone who doesn't even know he's in a competition. Her lips trembled. I don't want him like that. Maybe not yet, I said. But the fact that you're wishing makes it clear enough. She stared at her hands. I'm scared. So am I admitted quietly. But staying scared together isn't the same as being in love. For a while, neither of us spoke. We just sat there in the stillness, two people who once fit together perfectly, now sitting across from each other like strangers, trying to decide whether memory was enough reason to hold on. Finally, she stood up slowly like gravity had doubled. She walked to the doorway, picked up her bag and paused without turning around. Ethan, you're a good man. That's not the compliment you think it is, I said gently. She nodded, shoulders trembling, then walked out. The door clicked softly behind her. Not a slam, not a dramatic exit. Just a quiet ending to a once loud love. I didn't go after her. I didn't call. I didn't text. I just stood there for a while, listening to the emptiness she left behind. The next morning she sent a long message, apologies, explanations, confused feelings. I read it. I didn't respond. Not because I didn't care, but because some words don't need answers. They only reopen wounds you're trying to close. 2 weeks later, I heard through a mutual friend that she and Adrian had started getting coffee together after work. Not dating, not officially, but spending time laughing, talking, growing closer. Exactly the path I knew she was already on. And strangely, I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel betrayed. I just felt confirmation. Because sometimes the person who breaks your heart also frees you. Looking back now, I'm grateful for her honesty, even if it slipped out accidentally. Loving someone who's halfway out the door is its own kind of slow death. And letting go was the first time I chose myself. People always say heartbreak teaches you lessons. But here's what I learned. Sometimes the softest knife is a wish that doesn't include you. And sometimes the strongest thing you can say is exactly what I told her. Then go to him.